right? Avril, the mother does herself.
Hell yeah.
I love this. This is honestly, I feel so like I'm living in a dream right now because you are one of my idols, I have to say. Growing up, I listened to you so much. I can actually say that part of who I am is kind of because of you.
That's awesome. Thank you. Wow.
The whole like attitude, the not giving a about what people have to say, all of that. Like I grew up in such a cooler time where like that was so embraced. You know what I mean? Like growing up, you were so cool, and listening to you is like, yeah, this is what we want. We want edgy. We want people to tell us how they feel. We want people to wear crazy clothes, like colors and dye your hair and all of that stuff. So like I got to really express myself, and I think that's genuinely because of you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Very cool.
So congrats are in order first and foremost, because When We Were Young festival, the lineup came out and you were on the lineup.
Yes, I'm so excited. That just got announced today. Yay.
So crazy. I literally, before the interview started, was just sending memes to all of my friends about When We Were Young festival because we're all so pumped. And we're just thinking back to like how we used to dress when we were so into all this music and like all of the things that were happening in our lives at those times, like middle school and high school.
I feel like that's all come back too. And like in its own new way, like the fashion, right?
Oh, definitely, 100%. I mean, it's so funny that I can buy clothes that I used to wear then, now again.
Yeah, I know. Like like, and also like I remember like what is that hair color called?
Manic Panic?
Yes, thank you. So like literally that's like what I would use to like color my hair
Yes.
on tour. Like the pink, I'd like be in my hotel room, bathroom, like head in the sink, manic panic, pink going in my hair. And like literally the other day, I was like, my album cover came out. I need to change my hair orange. Like literally getting like manic panic, like in every color, being
I love it.
and being like, I need to color my hair last minute. Yeah, it's so much fun. Like the fashion and the music and everything being like cyclical and like coming back. And it's like, it's always been there. And it's like, I've always loved it. I'm sure you've always loved it. And it's like,
Yeah.
meant like, you know, we listen to these records that we listened to back when, and people like kind of rediscovering them in that genre now too. And even with clothes.
It's absolutely wild because, there's people like Olivia Rodrigo and Willow, and even Billie has, that punk vibe about her that are all so like popular now. And for kids who are growing up listening to them, they're Avril, you know what I mean? But without Avril, they would not exist. Which has to be kind of a wild experience for you because I know I've seen you like take pictures with Olivia Rodrigo. So like you've met her, and I've heard you've like hung out with Billie and seen her in concert. So like that has to be kind of crazy to know that you've influenced all of these young artists in such a major way.
Yeah. And it's crazy. It's crazy to think that. It's super flattering. Like I've met all these girls and they've all said super like kind things to me and that I've been huge fans of my music. And yeah, I mean it's a trip. It definitely is. And it's like I just gave an award to Olivia last month, and like we were like talking, and she's so young, and she's like, you know, this is like my first tour that I'm doing, and like I think I was like giving her like tour traveling like advice. Like I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, you know, I can get lonely. I was like, yeah, you know, if you can ever take a friend out with you, like I always try to take a girlfriend out with me. And you know, I remember meeting Billie and just being like, yo, you ever need any advice? Like send her a note, just like here for you. And it's like a crazy ride. It's such a crazy trip. And I'm so happy to see like these women that you've mentioned, like doing what they're doing, like Olivia and Billie and like Willow, you know, they're so young and they're like tapping into their songwriting and like going to like this like raw like place, and they're just like all so unique in their own way, and it's like resonating with people, like people relate to it. And like with Olivia, it's like she has such like a wide audience, like younger and an older demographic, and it's like it's so great to see that. it's so cool to see, like, also, kind of like the emo rock, like pop punk, whatever you want to call it, like scene, like being really appreciated in music right now. And like my friend MGK, like having a #1 record, like
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yes. And just seeing like my friends like in rock music, like killing it. Yeah. And to be able to be playing this festival and to be around that music scene, I'm super stoked.
So back to kind of like the idea of you influencing all of these younger artists. Did you have any females that you looked up to in the music industry? Because obviously you are kind of one of a kind, but like, was there anybody that you could kind of go to or you looked up to that was in the same kind of scene as you at that time? Because you were what, 16, 17 when you started?
Yeah. There was a lot of music, like CDs or tapes that I had. Like, I'd say, like, you know, I loved Alanis Morissette, and like she did not hold back. She cursed in her music, which was a huge deal, but it was like she what was a lot, showed, like, she was like expressing herself in like a very emotional, like passionate, I don't know, angry, angsty, but like intelligent way. Like someone like Alanis Morissette and like Dolores from the Cranberries, and like um and I was also into like country music too. Like I love, like, I'm thinking like naming like Canadians, like Shania Twain.
Yes. Isn't that how you were kind of discovered, was singing covers for like country songs?
Like kind of like I had started like I've been performing music since I was like really young, like a kid. And then like I won a contest to sing with Shania Twain when I was 14. I sang with her on stage, and it like definitely helped me. Like even like it was in all the papers, and it was like a part of my journey to getting discovered for sure. Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see how all of the genres can mix in a way, and how one person may prefer one genre, but they have so many other influences behind that that create what they then create.
Yeah. And like I've been like talking about it a bunch, because like I worked with Blink, like I worked with Mark Hoppus on this album and Travis Barker. And it's like actually like Blink was a band that I like loved in high school, discovered,
Hell yeah.
and like had a huge influence on me, obviously, while I was developing musically. And so it's like full circle coming back. And it's like I'm working with both those guys. Like I have a song with Mark on this album. Travis worked on this record. Like, and so it's pretty cool too.
So this whole resurgence of the pop punk version of Avril, I'm so here for, because I mean, I'm a huge fan of Head Above Water. I also suffer from Lyme disease, so that hit home for me. But I'm all for this whole resurgence of like pop punk Avril. Do you feel like you kind of had to have that era though of Head Above Water to kind of get back to this pop punk version of you that I feel like is really who you are, like
Yeah. I
deep inside?
It's interesting. It's like I've always been like a rock chick at heart, love the electric guitar, written angsty music, whatever. And like, but then I have ballads, and I like sit down at the piano and I write emotional songs. And like my each album is like a journey of kind of fucking what I'm going through, what I've gone through. Um and like my last album, Head Above Water, it was like really deep and emotional, and it was like heavy, and like that was just like where I was like at in my life. And like after kind of taking a break and stepping back in, that was like natural for me to just like musically just like sit at the piano and like talk about what I was going through at that time in my life, and like all this like crazy shit, bam. And then it's like fast forward to this record, it's like I'm talking about and reflecting on my life in love, the ups and downs, but like I'm in a good place, and the songs are like lighthearted. And I also feel like this is a record I've always wanted to make. It's just like rock and roll from front to back, and like um and it's like so me. And this side of me, I feel like it's always been in every one of my concerts, all my live shows. It's just like I run out on stage, it's like guitar, tons of energy. And but it's nice, it's good to be diverse, to have songs that are more raw, emotional, and like break it down. And I don't know if that comes from like me also just, I like different genres of music. Like I have a truck and I literally listen to country while I'm driving my truck. And
I love that. It's like you're in it. You're like, I'm in my truck, so it's country time.
and my boyfriend Maud is like, Liz, like he's in the car listening to the lyrics and he's like, country is actually like more punk rock than I thought it was. Like these guys say the most insane shit. It's awesome. There's like
Sidebar, you and Maud's son are absolutely adorable together. I love seeing pictures. I love that you guys work on music together. I think that's fantastic.
thank you.
It's so cute. Would you say that that's actually part of the inspiration for this album as well? Because you said that it's a lot about your love journey, even if it's titled Love Sucks, and clearly it doesn't suck with Maud's son because you guys are very happy.
When I started the process of making this record, like I was just like in that headspace. I was like, I'm over love. Like I need a minute. I'm gonna focus on myself now. I've never done this. Like I'm just like, got a new house. I'm gonna move. Like I'm just gonna do me. And I'm like, I was really reflecting when I was writing these songs with him about my like past in love and like things I'd been through. And we talked about it. And I was in the studio telling the guys, just like the guys where I was at, like Feldy and Maud, I was like, this is how I feel. I'm like over it. And um, and it brought up like a lot of these like angsty songs and like, but it's like love, hate, passion, like ups, downs, like, but that's life. And like I still feel that way. Like love is hard, but it's like
Hell yeah.
at the end of the day, like whatever, I'll take that risk again. And that's kind of like the one song I wrote on this album called Dare to Love Me was like my vulnerable like piano song when I was like, okay, halfway through the process of making this record, then I got like a boyfriend or like really, like 2 days later. And so like, and then there's a song called Kiss Me Like the World Is Ending.
You know, it's so funny how that works out because that's also how I found my boyfriend. I will never forget going to my girlfriend's being like, I'm done with this. I want nothing to do with this. The last guy I dated was terrible. I was like, none of this. And then a month later, I found my boyfriend. We've been dating for like 4 years now.
Oh, good. I love that.
It's always when you say though, like, I'm done, I want nothing to do with it, that you end up finding like this amazing person. And you're like, where the hell did this come from?
I know. It's funny.
So when you were creating the album, you did a lot of it during the pandemic, right?
Yes.
So what kind of obstacles did you face? Because I mean, you're probably doing a lot of things virtual and there's got to be guidelines and things like that. Did you face anything like out of the norm that you remember that was like, dude, this would be so much easier?
Yeah, like when I went into the studio with Feldy and Maud, like I was like, okay, guys, we need to wear masks. Like, I don't want to get sick. So we all wore masks for like ever. And like I was being like responsible for like, I don't know how crazy, it's like nuts. So like, we wore masks in the studio and then like I would like kind of take mine off to sing, put it back on. And then like one of my sessions, like my session with Mark Hoppus was over Zoom and that was like wild watching him work. Cause he like, it was like live, like he had a Pro Tools rig and we had a Pro Tools rig and like he was working on his at his house and it was updating to ours. And then while we were writing the song and then he would just like pull the mic in and like sing his verse. And then like, that was crazy, but like it totally worked. But I was like, I was going down and I was like, this is nuts. I can't believe, like, thank God. I mean, that we could do like all this stuff like now over Zoom. Like I have to pre-tape a lot of my performances for TV shows because like in a safe environment, like everyone has to get tested, blah blah blah. So yeah, I mean there were obstacles, but like also I was like saying, I'm like, my first kiss with Maud was literally with a mask on.
Stop it, wait, did you really do like a full-fledged mask kiss, like both of you?
It was just like with a mask. And then that's all you get.
That is the most pandemic-worthy love story that I've ever heard. So when you were picking your collabs, because you got MGK, like you said, Mark Hoppus, and you got Black Bear on this track, Love It When You Hate Me. What made Black Bear the perfect fit for this song? Like, how do you pick the people that you're going to collab with on which songs?
Well, like Black Bear's, like, oh my God, it was really cool because we sent the song to him and his voice is like so recognizable. And he's like a crazy, like, he's like a really good, really strong songwriter and lyricist. And when he put down his verse and sent it to us, I was like, oh my God, now I'm in love with this song. And this song is like, I was like, this just took the song to the next level. I FaceTimed him because also like we weren't in the studio together because of the pandemic. So I was like, I was just like, holy shit, this is so good. And it was like his verse was like, it was a chorus. It was just so good. And so yeah, it's been really fun for me to have these features, like Love It When You Hate Me with Black Bear, and I have a song with Machine Gun Kelly. And
I'm so excited to hear the MGK one.
yeah, and
I'm pumped.
yeah, and so and then like everyone working together, like it was just like so much fun. It just like kind of was like I felt like I was in high school, just like hanging out with a really cool crew. Like everyone's just cool. They're all like music people. They all skateboard. Like we're all just like having fun, and it just like felt like this really cool like friend group.
I love that. That makes me so happy.
Feeling like work and corporate and like oh my God, I'm in the studio and I'm working with this songwriter. You know what I mean? It was like it can get like that, but it was just so just like everything about this album, making this record was so much fun. I made it with cool people, and I think that energy is you feel it. And on this album, Love Sucks is like super fun. It's like upbeat. There's tons of guitars. Travis is playing drums on like half the album, and like it's just got like such a vibe, and it's going to be so much fun to take this album out like and perform it live.
I am so pumped to see it live. Hopefully, when we were young at the festival, if I can get myself there. I know we have to wrap it up, but I have one last thing that I have to ask you because I keep hearing rumblings that there's going to be a Sk8r Boi movie.
Yes,
That's happening.
that's in the works, and yeah, turning the song into a movie.
Okay, that is beyond awesome. So is it, I remember the music video for it. So it's like, is it going to be kind of like is it going to be like the beginning, middle, and end of the song? Or is there going to be things that we see happening that like are not involved in the song?
Like the script is being written, but I would say we're like following the North Star of like the lyric of the song, where it's like love triangle vibe, and it's like the message of the song is like, you know, it's like missed opportunity at love, like where it's like, you know, the like preppy girl liked the Sk8r Boi, and like, and then she didn't follow her heart, and she listened to her parents or whatever society's expectations and went a different route, and like it was missed opportunity of love. And I think the message will be like something like that is like I think what we're going for, and like, you know, listening to yourself, following your heart. And I think there will be a ton of really great messages in it in the process of working with the writer of the film right now, and very, very exciting.
Do you have an idea of who you want to cast in the film?
I've definitely already asked like some of my friends to make cameos in it. Like when I was talking to Mark Hoppus the other day, I was like, "Hey, you have to make a cameo in the Sk8r Boi movie." And he was like, "Yes."
I love this. I'm so psyched to see what this movie becomes. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
I know we gotta go. Unfortunately, I could sit here and talk to you for like 7 hours. It's getting the time.
Well, then we bust open some wine. Let's go.
I would love literally nothing more than that. I would be on cloud 9. That would be amazing. But it was so nice to meet you, and thank you so much for your time.
So great to meet you. Oops. Thank you so much as well.